Sporty greetings. Let's talk about that second leg semi-final match in the UEFA Champions League between Inter Milan and Barcelona. What a game of football. Absolutely incredible. It was an all-time classic. Yes, Inter Milan produced an amazing late turnaround to beat Barcelona 7-6. Yes, you heard me right. 7-6 on aggregate. What a game of football. The first leg in Barcelona ended 3-3. 6-goal thriller. And we were saying they've scored all the goals. We're not going to see goals in the second leg. And then what happened in Milan? Can somebody please explain to me what happened at the San Siro? Football is mental. It is so humbling. And it wasn't just about Inter Milan winning that one by 4-3. It was how it happened. Gracious goodness. With just 2 minutes of added time, Inter Milan, it looked like they were down and out. Yes, that was it. Until centre-back Francesco Asabi. Where did he come from? Brought them back into the game. I've been looking at the highlights of that game between Inter Milan and Barcelona. I was like, this is the final before the final. It was a beautiful game of football. It's that sort of game. Yes, I know you didn't want it to end. I didn't want it to end. I was seeing goals. Football had come to a point where everyone's talking about tactics, strategies, and they're locking up. And it's becoming boring, sincerely, until we saw what we saw in the semi-finals, man. It was end-to-end stuff. It was a war. It was so engaging. It was intense, Crazy battle at the San Siro. In Barcelona, 2 goals down. They came back to it, and then they led 3-2. And then just when you thought they were going to win it, Inter Milan revived it again, came back to it. And what a way to win it in extra time. Man, I struggle to analyze this game because I was like, I just need to talk about it. Because each time you try to talk about it, particularly if you are a big follower of football in Spain or a fan of Barcelona, there's no way you can explain what happened. No. And it's not as if Barcelona had a bad shift. They played beautiful football. They were fantastic. By the time I show you the man of the ratings for each of the players, you would understand why this can definitely go down as an all-time classic in the UEFA Champions League. Wow. Across 2 legs, we saw 13 goals. 13 goals, can you believe it? Across 2 legs. 3-3 in Barcelona, 4-3 in Milan. It was a crazy, as I said, crazy game of football. I kept saying, what is this? On my socials, I was trying to, you go have a drink or you get up to pick something and there's a goal. And then you start wondering what's going on. I loved it so much, So it means in the last 3 seasons, Inter Milan is getting into the final. They were in the final in 2023, remember, when they lost to Manchester City by a single goal, and now they've done it again. That means there's something about this team, and it's not really a young team. So you can tell experience is doing a lot for this Inter Milan team. Crazy. Go look at the highlights again. Just go look at it and see the way they kept fighting. And, particularly when Barcelona came back and took the lead, that sort of football can deflate any team. And as I said, with just 2 minutes of added time left, 2 minutes of this is it, then the resurgence started. It was such a beautiful game of football. Shout out to Inter Milan and Barcelona for giving us one for the ages, one that we can actually look back 10, 15, 20 years from now, say this was a classic game of football. This is what football used to be in the 90s, and early 2000s, when teams can actually have a go at themselves, play beautiful football, open up, and be entertaining. That's what we saw at the San Siro. I think UEFA did a good thing by taking off this away goal rule. Now, teams understand that they need to score goals. They need to come out, play football. Because if it was on away goals rule, Inter Milan scoring 3 in Spain would probably have locked up in Milan. But now they know that when they are conceding, then there's a big problem. So they need to score goals. I love it so much. Once again, shout out to Inter Milan and Barcelona for giving us one to talk about. Will football favor the Nerazzurris this time around? That's the big question. They lost it in 2023 and now they're back in the final again. Will they win it this time around? But they need to wait for the winner between PSG and Arsenal. That's when we go down tonight. Will it give us another classic? I was going to see another round of drama. So get ready. That's what too might just really get us talking. But what we've seen with Inter Milan and Barcelona, maybe PSG and Arsenal might just come out, lock it up a bit, but I hope we're not going to see drab football. I promise to show you the players' ratings, some of the top performers for Inter Milan. Definitely, you want to pull Lautaro Martinez right there. He's the man of the match. Fantastic player. Didn't just play, he led. And that's what, made the difference. Dumfries, what a player. From the first leg in Barcelona, he carried that same form into this one, and he's right there for me. Jan Sommer. It wasn't just a goalkeeper. He was a wall. He was blocking everything. He meant business. He kept Inter Milan in it. What a goalkeeper. Take a bow, Sommer. Everyone is talking about him. And this is what I'm talking about, teamwork. If he was a bad goalkeeper on the day, probably Inter Milan won't win it. Someone say, yeah, he conceded 3 goals, but go check the number of saves he made. Go see the way he was even initiating attacks sometimes with his long balls. Fantastic goalkeeper. I've got Davide Fratesi. Yeah, Fratesi. With that comeback goal. Crazy stuff for Inter Milan. I like Thuram all day, every day. He's up there. And then, of course, Asabi for the goal he scored. So, all round good players. It was a fantastic teamwork display. But these guys I've mentioned were my standout performers for Inter Milan. Let's go to Barcelona. There's no way I'll take out Lamine Yamal. What a player. The guy is just 17, and I felt so bad for him because he gave everything he could give on the night. But football just chose Inter Milan. Of course, I've got Rafinha in there. What a player Rafinha has become. I look at him and how he plays unpredictable, breathtaking football. You can't say what Rafinha is going to do next with the ball. That's the kind of player he is. And then he'll just produce magic. Fantastic guy. Dani Olmo also had a good shift for Barcelona. Good one all day every day. Pedri is one player that I really like. He's in there. And then De Jong. De Jong was actually good with positional play, and he got into the spaces properly. And then there's no way I won't mention Ferran Torres. This is one guy that I've talked about that if Barcelona can build a play around him, he can make a difference. Unfortunately, the team is loaded and he doesn't really get to play as much as he expects. But each time he's on the pitch for Barcelona, he's making a difference. He did the same thing the first leg in Spain, and I think he also put a good shift at the San Siro. So congratulations once again to Inter Milan for making it to the final for the second time in 3 seasons. And what a way to get into the final. You cannot play this type of games in the semis and then get to the final and then don't do something. But football can just be so crazy. We'll get to the final now and it might just go south. But let's see. But first, tonight is another round, is another night of fireworks. PSG will host Arsenal in Paris. The first leg ended 1-0 for PSG in London. And Arsenal turn it around. I've been talking a lot about this. You can go watch the video I made about Mikel Arteta saying Arsenal needs to produce something special if they are to win the UEFA Champions League. And tonight they need to prove that they've got something special that they can give to continue this, I wanted to say fairy tale, but let's just call it magical run that Arsenal has shown us in the UEFA Champions League. Can PSG stop them? Can the Gunners stun PSG in Paris and go join Inter Milan in the final? I don't know. Football will give us the answer. I'll see you around again. That's it.